Previously on Red Eye.
Welcome to Red Eye. It's like night court, if by court you mean sweats. I'm here tonight with Kimberly Gutfeld, Fox News Channel anchor, former prosecutor and the host of True Crime on FoxNews.com. She's so hot, the blind often mistake her for summer. Michigan Congressman Thaddeus McCotter. He's so sharp on weekends he doubles as a hedge clipper. Look at him. Stoic as ever. Bill Schultz in Tahiti, he's a spring roll. And sitting right next to me, the wonderful comedian Jim Norton. You can hear him every morning on the Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM satellite radio. He's also the author of the great book, I Hate Your Guts. If hilarity were homework, teens would do him before bedtime. And our New York Times correspondent, good to see you again, Pinch.
Good to see you, Greg. I'm a little drunk, had an extra Chablis at Balthazar, so bear with me.
All right, I certainly will.
Oh, it was delish.
Okay.
Usual table.
A shot in the fanny just ruined Manny. Manny Ramirez was suspended for 50 games by Major League Baseball on Thursday for taking a banned drug. The dreadlocked Dodger said he did not take steroids. It was a prescribed medication that contained a banned substance. However, ESPN, a sports network, reported the drug was HCG, a woman's fertility drug, typically used by roidheads to restart their body's natural testosterone as they come off a steroid cycle. Here is a typical user. Oh my God, I know it's terrible happened. I could see why this stuff is banned. Said Manny in a statement, recently I saw a physician for a personal health issue. He gave me a medication, not a steroid, which he thought was okay to give me. Unfortunately, the medication was banned under our drug policy, under the policy that my mistake is now my responsibility. I actually believe we have a picture of the doctor who prescribed the drug. Oh, it's a shame, you know. I really trusted that kid.
He's a prodigy.
Yeah. Hey, Congressman, I know you're a sports fan, or so you claim to be. What's your take on this no-tolerance policy?
Well, I think I'm shocked to find the one substance in history that you haven't ingested yourself, Greg.
Yeah, you don't know that for sure.
Well, we do know that he plagiarized your last note explaining your behavior to Roger Ailes.
So, are you just going to insult me, or are you going to do you have an opinion on
I like the insults.
Keep the insults.
The game is a beautiful game, Greg. It's there to show the grace of the athletes, their natural abilities, and the abilities that they've brought out through hard work over a long period of time. And you should not be allowed to cheat, especially with baseball, which is so based upon historical lore, statistics, that you are really diminishing the game not only for yourself and your teammates, but for all the fans and, in fact, generations of fans.
Now that's...
Wow.
That was thoughtful. Jim?
I'm glad I pleased you.
He's actually really pleased from
Jim, you were shaking your head?
Yeah, you have to disagree a little bit. As you know, I was chairman of the Senate subcommittee on steroid use.
Yes, you were. I had no idea.
I was testifying that, let's be honest, who really cares what they do? I mean, they're not brain surgeons. They don't have anything to do with public policy. They hit a ball and run in a circle. Our obsession with their morality is driving me nuts. Who cares? Who cares?
Well, you know what? It's an interesting point. You know, Kimberly, beauty pageant winners can get implants. They can get nose jobs in order to win.
Enhance their performance.
Exactly. So why can't men playing sports enhance their performance? Is it, in a way, the same thing?
Well, let's see. Miss California is now in trouble for being augmented and for doing a little backless shot, and now the boys are in trouble for the little fanny shot, so it seems like no good is coming out of any of it. I think that, you know, everybody's doing it. If you can't beat them, join them, and that's what they're doing.
Well, speaking of, Bill, you've been trying to get pregnant for years. What's the story with this fertility drug that Manny has been using?
Manny being Manny or Manny being wool Manny, Greg? Because indeed your testosterone testosterone level goes down when you take steroids, and this is the drug you used to sort of bring it back up. Now, that in and of itself isn't illegal. They made it illegal because, again, you're using it to hide. Now, he says he did this for personal reasons. He's got to do a mea culpa now. If he doesn't tell us exactly what this personal medical situation was, then you can kiss LA goodbye, you can kiss the hall goodbye. The whole thing makes me sick.
Is a mea culpa an actual yoga?
No, that's your Roman houseboy.
I know. Do you really think he didn't know he was taking a banned substance?
Oh, no, I believe it, because when the sincerity of his letter. Recently, I saw a physician came right out of Manny Ramirez's mouth. That's how he talked.
That was not his agent and or publicist.
No.
Is there a drug akin to steroids that helps in comedy?
I guess, I mean, for me, well, I haven't done drugs in 22 years, but I know a lot of guys that do cocaine. Alcohol helps for a little while, then by the third show, you're throwing the bottle at the people in the front row. So I would say that it's probably cocaine.
A last question to Congressman. Manny's going to lose $8 million of his $25 million salary. Is there any? Should he be allowed to keep that money, or do you think he should lose it?
Well, I think if he broke the rules of the game, Greg, and he cannot perform on the field, he cannot bring fans into the stadium, he has to pay the price for that.
Well, the bad news is his suspension starts tonight. The good news is Dodgers are playing the Nationals. So they'll just win by 10 rather than 20.
Nationals are a baseball team.
Yes, not very good, Greg.
Allegedly.
But don't you think people will still come to the stadium? No, don't forget Ty Cobb, one of the dirtiest players ever. People would just come to root against him.
That's true.
Greg really enjoyed his thoughts on race relations, though. He's a big fan of Ty for that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Good.
All right, from Dodgers to burgers. President Obama and Vice President Biden have gone to hell. Ray's Hell Burger, that is.
Oh, my.
Yes, the dynamic duo had lunch together at the Arlington Burger Joint on Tuesday. Independently, the press covered it like it was a combination of the moon landing and David Arquette's birthday, analyzing every little detail, including the mustard Obama put on his burger. Note, it was hot, just like our president.
Yes.
But the real story here is that Obama and Biden had a very public lunch together, because normally you never see the Prez and Veep together casually, unless, of course, they're hot tubbing with the Landers sisters. Congressman, I go to you first. My theory is that in the wake of Biden's recent gaffes, this lunch was an attempt to let some of Obama's reflected glow burnish the VP. I'm pretty astute, don't you think?
No. And I don't want to be the only one who does. But I think that what you're seeing in many ways is an attempt to try to take the president and show that he's a normal person like everybody else. Bill Clinton was famous for this, but I think Bill Clinton in many ways had a clear credibility with this. When Bill Clinton walked into a Mickey D's, he knew how to supersize something.
Yeah, that is true.
And you knew that he fit in.
Yeah.
And what I think you see with the president is an attempt to show that you are in touch with working people. And Bill Clinton didn't really have to go to a burger joint to do that. You knew that he was.
Yeah.
And you hoped that you weren't one of them.
Yes, he was in touch with a lot of people.
Congressman, I have to ask, has anyone in your history of service to this country, has anyone ever come up to you and said, I'm pretty astute, aren't I, and actually said something astute?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Especially the members of Congress like myself.
Yes.
Jim, the late-night comedians won't touch Obama, but they're starting to beat up Biden as an acceptable surrogate. Will having lunch with Obama change that?
I don't know. First of all, I made fun of Obama on Letterman last week when I was on. I goofed on him a little bit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Get mood?
Yeah, no, they were fine.
Did people look at you oddly?
No. Two guys with headsets on just dragged me up on my throat.
Yeah.
But no, I think the reason that I think it was very smart, because they're like, how can we get Biden to talk about salmonella and E. coli? Get him a burger.
There you go. Kimberly, normally the press and VP lead very separate lives. The VP tends to go to everything that the #1 can't go to, like minute barbecues. Wasn't it weird seeing them having chow together? It was like, to me, it was like a campaign event.
Yes, and not believable. Hello, the Obama washboard abs. You know he's not eating like the double cheeseburger with an extra side of Grey Poupon, right? It's not believable. He's not like a burger kind of guy. He just isn't. He's really into like working out and everything. And Bill Clinton wasn't until he, had major heart problems.
Well, I go to the New York Times. There are some people even on this network that are bringing up the whole spicy mustard controversy.
Yep.
As an elitist paper, you see nothing wrong with using brown mustard, spicy mustard, that is.
No, Greg, and I see nothing wrong with making that a legitimate media argument. By the way, could you please tell me exactly who on the network said that? Wouldn't rhyme with vanity, would it? Good Lord, man. Either way, I actually have it on record that Obama does enjoy green poupon. He wrote about it in his last book, and I couldn't agree more.
See?
So replace filet mignon with the burger, and you got yourself a dinner,
Well,
girlfriend.
I gotta say, I don't see using spicy mustard as elitist. I just don't.
Me?
No, I just don't understand why that's an argument.
Well, the other thing...
Because it's fancy. It's not French. It's the plain yellow.
It's
It's got
the
the
same
little
price.
sprinkles in it.
It's the same
Say what
price.
you will.
The fact that we're equating some sort of highfalutin thing that somebody likes with who they are as a person is, like, really 95. Like, the fact, it's amazing that's still a legitimate argument.
I agree, but when I see somebody eating like regular yellow Frenches, I'll spit on them.
Really? Yeah, I don't know.
To spice it up.
I don't know. I like spicy mustard on
I like
everything.
it.
And you don't put ketchup on there.
Not
That's
to
the
sound
good thing.
too French, but I like my fries with a little mayonnaise. I'm
Why
not
don't
gonna
we go
lie.
do a little taster test with the dirty water dogs outside in the corner? We'll
Congressman, I just saw the congressman close his eyes.
Oh, my God, he's having a seizure.
All right. Clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop. For anyone that's not a horse, that translates to this next story is really good.
Wow.
Yes. What happens when little kids watch grown-up TV? Whatever it is, you can bet we'll discuss it in a roundtable discussion punctuated by laughter and awkward pauses.